Okay, we're on set here, just shot a couple testimonials, and I want to do a quick breakdown of my one lighting setup for cinematic interviews, as well as two main restrictions, things that I tend to think about when I'm assembling my kit for a shoot. So we're gonna talk about all the gear I use to get the shot to look like this, and we're gonna talk about some cheaper alternatives, and then two main things I keep in mind that I think are really important for us to take with us to each shoot. Let's get started. Okay, let's chat about the gear and what I'm using to get this set up. We're gonna avoid audio and stick strictly to all of the lighting setup we have. So right here in front of us, we have the Nanlite FS300B. From what I remember when I bought it, it was about $300 and $350. I'm pretty sure I got it on sale on B&H one time. Great light, bicolored, can have a wide range of Kelvin. And we've got a Godox parabolic softbox right here, okay? So this light is a 300, it's powerful, and I'll explain why that kind of matters here in a little bit. And then just to the left of me here, we have our 5-in-1 reflector. You can buy so many different variations of this on Amazon for anywhere from like $20 to $100, depending on the size that you want. And so really all I have right now is the light hits my face, and then we get a little bit of fill back on the left side, which I think looks very pleasing, looks great to the eye. Because typically, as this is a testimonial interview kind of setup, you'd be looking and facing this way, talking to the interviewer. So you get some of those nice contrasts, some of the nice little triangle on your face there. It just looks generally good to me, very cinematic, if that's the word we want to use. So we've explained a bit of the parabolic softbox. So if you're wondering about something that can replace this, that's cheap and works well for you, biggest thing I have, biggest recommendation is is a shower curtain. I bought this from Walmart. You can buy this from kind of any place you would buy those kind of things from. And this is cheap. It's like 15, 20 bucks, probably max. You'd hang this in front of your light just like how the softbox would be, and you get a very similar effect. Now, the setup time to build this is a little bit more, but this is just one option for you to try instead of the parabolic softbox. Two, if you want to get a different light, that's okay. The 300 I bought for a few reasons we're going to explain here in just a second, but you could buy a cheaper light. There's 150s, 100s, 60s, like there's so many different options for you out there now that are cheap. Honestly, look at B&H, find some sales, that'd be great for you. But then this is where I thought would be more important. We can talk about gear all day. We can talk about what the softbox is doing. We can talk about how this is working, but there are two main restrictions that I take in mind when I'm assembling my kit for a set. And these I think are so critically important. So let's chat about those. The two things that I keep in mind are time of day, and if there are any windows, and efficiency and the space you're working in. I bought a 300 to help start to battle some of the sunlight. Now, if you can look past my left shoulder here, you can see this window and how you can actually kind of see outside. It is not blown out. Why? Because my light is giving me enough power to be able to see out there. Now, that's not all the time. Let me be clear. If it's super bright out and the sun is shining right through the window, this light probably isn't powerful enough to help maintain what it's currently look like. So if you were to buy a cheaper light that doesn't have as much power output, you might want to film later in the day or earlier in the day, depending on where the sun is coming to and from where your window is situated, if that makes sense. And there's lots of apps for that. So I'd recommend think of when you're going to be filming, what time of day, where the window is situated, and that's what I would buy for accordingly. Now, if you're setting up in your house, man, you might be able to get that into kind of a rhythm of terms of when I'm gonna film or all those kind of things. But if you're like me and you're filming on many different locations at any different time of the day, I needed a 300, and sometimes I think I actually need a little bit stronger to help handle that. The second thing that I always work through or think about is where I'm shooting. What's the space like? How much room do I have, right? If we're gonna go back to that shower curtain idea, I have to set that up on two kind of stands, or you can get one of those, kind of the shower things that you unravel and set up. You could do one of those. But where am I gonna set that up in this somewhat of a much smaller space? So this is from the back of the room. We've got one light stand here with the 300 and the Godox. We have a table over there. We have the 5-in-1 reflector kind of coming off of the other stand that it came with. We've got a desk here. Like there just isn't enough space to set up something like the shower curtain in here. It's just not possible. As much as it's a much cheaper alternative in terms of space-wise, that won't ever fit. Maybe you're filming at home and you're able to fit the shower curtain setup and you don't have to move it that much. Why not go that route? It's way cheaper and it'll work really well for you. Would totally recommend it. But if you're someone who has to move around a lot, space really starts to matter. For me in this space, this was the best setup I could do with what it fits in there. And yeah, it's more on the expensive side of things, but I can set it up and tear it down easily and quickly. Man, the number of times where I was using a shower curtain and it would take me so long to set up, and if I needed to maneuver it, I would almost sometimes need a second person to do that well. Meanwhile, for this one, like I can just turn the softbox so easily and boom, like we're back in position, right? You just don't have that flexibility. The two things you really gotta think about: where you're shooting, how much space you have, and the time of day. If you really apply those two restrictions to what you're buying, what you're looking into, I think you'll make a smarter decision. I don't think it doesn't matter really what brand or all those things are. There's so many technical details you go into when it comes to buying lights. But I think if you approach it with those two main restrictions, you'll come up with something you enjoy and actually work for your needs. Does that make sense? I think so. I think so. Two quick little tidbits. If you made it to the end of the video, first off, I appreciate you. Comment down below if you want more stuff like this. But two quick tips and tricks, because you've made it to the end, I thought I'd give that to you. And sometimes, don't even need a light. You could just use your 5-1 reflector and a window light depending on where you are. Sun will come in through the window, reflect off of the 5-in-1, and boom, you're in progress. Again, time of day will change, the sun and stuff will move, but that is an option for you. And lastly, my favorite thing that I've ever bought for setups like this are these things. I've seen so many people recommend them and I will continue to recommend them. It's these clamps. These clamps are absolutely top tier. You can clamp them to anything. You can move, connect stuff, whatever. These are like $2 at Home Depot or some sort of hardware store. I actually cannot recommend these enough and they're a great workout. Hopefully this all makes sense. If you have any questions, comment them down below. I'll definitely respond to all of them. We'll do some more tutorials on lighting and everything as we go throughout the year. Let me know if you want to see anything in particular. All right, that's it. We'll see you next week.